All right, so you're prepping for a biochemistry technician interview.
And that's great.
Yeah, it is.
Is.
And luckily, we have all these resources from RoleCatcher
Mm-hmm.
to help you totally crush it.
Yeah.
We've got career guides, sample interview questions,
Mm-hmm.
even some insights into how their AI can give you an edge.
And this deep dive is laser focused on getting you ready for those questions.
It is. That's awesome.
We can really dig deep.
Yeah. So it's smart to focus on those questions. I mean, that's really all it comes down to is that interview, right?
Oh, yeah. Nailing the interview is all about showing them you can walk the walk.
Yeah.
But, before we get there,
Uh-huh.
let's take a quick step back.
Okay.
Look at the big picture.
Right.
RoleCatcher's career guide, actually,
Mm-hmm.
breaks down the different stages of a biochemistry technician's journey
Okay.
from trainee to senior technician,
Okay.
each with increasing responsibilities.
Gotcha.
Knowing this progression
Uh-huh.
helps you frame your answers in a way that aligns with your career goals.
So that's good. We have kind of a roadmap of where this role can lead.
Exactly.
So let's hit those interview questions.
Let's do it.
What about this classic, what experience do you have in biochemistry?
Oh, yeah. Everyone gets asked that one.
Oh, for sure.
It's your chance to showcase your passion.
Okay.
Don't just list off, jobs or coursework.
Mm-hmm.
Think about a project.
Okay.
Maybe from a lab class.
Yeah.
An internship, even volunteer work where you faced a challenge,
Yeah.
overcame it, and learned something valuable.
Uh-huh.
That story will resonate way more than a simple list.
That's a really good point. I bet they'll have a follow-up question, right?
Oh, for sure.
Something like, can you elaborate on a specific technique you used in that project and why it was important?
Absolutely. They want to see you understand the how and the why,
Mm-hmm.
not just that you were there.
Right.
And here's where RoleCatcher's AI can come in handy.
Oh, really?
It can analyze the job description,
Okay.
tell you if techniques like gel electrophoresis or chromatography are mentioned, so you can tailor your answer to highlight those specific skills.
That's super helpful.
Yeah.
Okay, next question.
Okay.
Describe a time you had to troubleshoot a problem in the lab.
Okay.
Feels like this is a chance to show off problem-solving skills.
Oh, it absolutely is.
Yeah.
And don't be afraid to pick a time where things didn't go perfectly.
Okay.
Describe the problem,
Uh-huh.
the steps you took,
Yeah.
but also what you learned from any missteps.
Good.
Employers value self-awareness,
That makes sense.
willingness to learn from mistakes.
They might even say, right, looking back, would you approach the situation differently?
Oh, yeah.
It's like they want to see how you grow from challenges.
Right. And you can use RoleCatcher to practice your answer,
Huh.
get feedback on how to frame it.
Okay.
They can tell you if you're hitting the right notes in terms of showcasing your problem-solving process, analytical thinking.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, this one feels pretty high stakes.
Okay.
How do you ensure safety in the laboratory?
Okay, safety is paramount.
Yeah.
Don't just rattle off, generic protocols.
Right.
Think about a time you went above and beyond.
Yeah, okay.
Maybe you spotted a potential hazard,
Yeah.
helped a colleague with a tricky procedure.
Mm.
Showing that you're proactive about safety speaks volumes.
Yeah, for sure. And they might follow up with, can you give an example of a specific safety protocol you follow rigorously and why it's so important?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Be ready with a detailed example,
Okay.
like how you handle hazardous waste
Uh-huh.
or maintain a sterile workspace.
Mm-hmm.
Show them you're not just following the rules.
Yeah.
You're thinking critically about safety.
Yeah, this is good stuff.
Thanks.
All right. So let's keep going.
So let's keep practicing these interview responses.
Oh.
You're aiming to show them you're not just qualified,
Uh-huh.
but you're the perfect fit for this specific lab and team.
Right. Okay. So how do we do that? How do we tailor our answers to really hit that mark?
Well, RoleCatcher's AI is a game changer here. It can actually highlight the key words and skills that are most important to the employer based on their job description.
Okay.
Let's say they emphasize meticulous attention to detail.
Right.
You can use that insight to pick examples that really showcase that strength.
Oh, that's really smart. Okay, let's tackle another question.
Right.
What are your strengths and weaknesses as a biochemistry technician?
Ooh.
This one I always find tricky.
It's a classic for a reason.
Yeah.
For strengths, connect them back to the role.
Okay.
Let's say the job description mentions analytical skills. You could say, one of my strengths is my analytical mindset. I'm naturally curious and love digging into data to find solutions in the lab. This helps me troubleshoot experiments effectively and interpret results accurately.
Oh, so it's not just about stating a strength, it's about showing how it directly benefits them.
Exactly.
Okay, that makes sense. What about weaknesses? Should I try to spin them into positives?
Honesty is key,
Okay.
but frame it constructively. Choose a weakness that you're actively working on.
Yeah.
Explain the steps you're taking to improve.
Okay.
For instance, I'm always striving to improve my presentation skills. I've been attending workshops and practicing giving presentations to my lab group to become more confident in sharing my research findings.
Okay, that's a great approach.
Yeah.
All right, this next one feels a bit more technical.
Okay.
Explain the principles of spectrophotometry and its applications in biochemistry.
All right, this is where your knowledge shines.
Right.
Briefly explain the basics of spectrophotometry, how it uses light absorption to measure substance concentrations, then highlight its applications in biochemistry,
Okay.
maybe mentioning enzyme kinetics, DNA quantification, or protein analysis. You can even mention specific types of spectrophotometers you've used.
And if they ask a follow-up question like, can you describe a specific experiment where you used spectrophotometry and the results you obtained?
Oh yeah, be ready with a concise but detailed example. Walk them through the experiment's purpose, the steps you took, and the significance of the findings. Show them you can not only explain the theory, but also apply it in practice.
This is gold.
Awesome.
Okay, on to another teamwork question. Tell me about a time you had to deal with conflict within a lab team. This one feels a little sensitive.
It can be, but it's also a chance to demonstrate your maturity and interpersonal skills.
Right, okay.
Choose an example where you helped resolve a conflict constructively.
Okay.
Focus on the steps you took to mediate, facilitate communication, and find a solution that benefited the team as a whole.
And they might ask, what did you learn from that experience about conflict resolution?
Oh, it's a great opportunity to show you're self-aware and constantly learning.
Okay.
You could say something like, I learned the importance of active listening and understanding different perspectives. I also realized that addressing conflicts early on prevents them from escalating.
That's super insightful.
Yeah.
Okay, now for a question that feels very specific, what is your experience with cell culture techniques?
This is where you tailor your answer to the job description.
Okay.
If cell culture is a major part of the role, be prepared to go into detail about your experience. Mention specific cell lines you've worked with, techniques you've mastered, and even challenges you've overcome.
Okay, what if I haven't had much direct experience with cell culture? What's the best approach?
Honesty is the best policy.
Okay.
Acknowledge your limited experience, but highlight transferable skills.
Okay.
Maybe you've worked with sterile techniques in other lab settings or have a strong understanding of cell biology principles.
Right.
Emphasize your eagerness to learn and your ability to quickly grasp new concepts.
Gotcha. Okay, this one seems a bit more open-ended. Tell me about a research project you're particularly proud of. It feels like they're trying to gauge my passion and initiative.
You're right. This is your chance to let your enthusiasm shine.
Okay.
Choose a project that genuinely excited you, whether it was a class assignment, an internship, or even a personal side project. Explain the goals of the project, your role, the challenges you faced, and the results you achieved.
Yeah.
Focus on what you learned and why it was meaningful to you.
And they might ask, what was the most significant takeaway from that research experience?
This is where you connect the dots to the job you're interviewing for.
Okay.
Maybe you developed valuable technical skills, learned the importance of teamwork, or discovered a new passion within biochemistry. Show them how this experience shaped you as a scientist and why it's relevant to their lab.
This is incredibly helpful. We've covered so much ground already.
All right.
What else do we need to know to really nail this interview?
Well, we've got a final part to this deep dive where we'll tie everything together.
Okay.
Look at how RoleCatcher can help you go from prepared to polished.
I can't wait. Let's wrap this up and dive into those final tips. All right, so we've gone over a ton of those interview questions.
Yeah, we've dissected them.
Figured out how to craft those responses to show our skills and passion.
Now it's about adding that extra polish.
Okay, so how do we do that?
Remember that career guide we mentioned earlier? Take another look at the different stages of a biochemistry technician's career path.
Okay.
Think about where you see yourself fitting in and let that guide how you present yourself in the interview.
So like if I'm aiming for a senior technician role someday,
Yeah.
I should really be highlighting my leadership experience.
Exactly.
Project management skills, that kind of thing.
And while you're at it, revisit those certifications.
Okay.
Do any of them align with the specific requirements or desired qualifications in the job description?
Right.
Mentioning them can really set you apart.
Okay, so we've got the career path certifications. What about networking?
Oh, networking is huge.
Yeah.
Is there anything I can do on LinkedIn or those online forums
Yeah.
to leverage those connections before the interview?
Yeah.
Don't just be a passive observer.
Okay.
Engage, contribute to discussions, share interesting articles, and connect with people working in labs or companies that interest you. You never know what opportunities might arise.
Yeah, it's like building relationships before you even step into the interview room.
Precisely. Now let's talk about the final piece of the puzzle, RoleCatcher's AI.
Yes. Okay, we've been kind of touching on it throughout the episode, but how can it actually help me refine my answers and really nail those tricky questions?
Imagine having a personal interview coach
Okay.
who analyzes every word of the job description and tells you exactly what the employer is looking for.
Oh, wow.
That's RoleCatcher's AI.
So tell me if they're prioritizing teamwork or technical expertise, maybe even specific lab techniques.
Absolutely. It goes beyond just identifying keywords.
Wow.
It can provide feedback on your answers, suggesting ways to make them more impactful or tailored to the specific role.
Oh, that's so cool.
Think of it as having a secret weapon.
Yeah.
Helps you fine-tune your responses to perfection.
This has been so helpful.
Yeah.
I feel a lot more confident and prepared now.
I'm glad to hear that.
But before we wrap up, is there one final piece of advice you'd give to anyone about to walk into a biochemistry technician interview?
Remember, you've gotten this far for a reason. You have the skills, the knowledge, and the passion. Let that shine through.
Okay.
Be authentic. Be enthusiastic, and don't be afraid to let your personality show.
Yeah.
When you genuinely connect with the interviewers, that's when you truly stand out.
That's great advice.
Thank you.
So you're walking into that interview prepared, confident, and ready to impress. But here's a final thought. What unique value do you bring to the table? What sets you apart? Reflect on that, and you'll truly shine good luck at it.